Few things define a travel experience more than discovering a destination's cuisine. That means walking away from the ubiquitous Golden Arches and instead eating where and what the locals eat. Nowhere is that more true than Hawaii. And no food is more authentically Hawaiian than poi. For although taro is a dietary mainstay for most Asia-Pacific cultures, only Hawaiians make poi. Centuries ago, Polynesian voyagers traveled thousands of miles across the open ocean, guided only by the stars, waves, and birds, in search of a new home. And it was poi that helped make the voyaging possible. Seems that taro, or kalo, when cooked and mashed, naturally ferments. The result is an extremely nutritious food that will keep without spoiling for weeks on end. Today, the Malamahonua worldwide voyage is taking Polynesian voyaging canoe, Hokulea, across Earth's oceans to grow the global movement toward a more sustainable world. And what's traveling with them? Poi. Hawaiian legend says that mankind's very existence is due to kalo. In the beginning of times, the Sky Father, Wa'akea, and his daughter, Ho'ohoku Kalani, had a son. The son was stillborn, and from the ground in which he was buried grew the first kalo plant. Haloa, their second-born, was also the first man. Haloa tended his brother the kalo, and in return, kalo fed his brother. And thus it is to this very day that man is bound to care for the land with love and respect, and in return, the land provides for the needs of man. Colocasia esculenta is a hardy perennial grown on dry land or in wetland lo'i, fed by constantly moving water. Both its starchy root or corm and its leaves are edible when cooked. It's said that kalo is best planted, tended, and harvested by hand. Kalo seems to demand attention from the people for whom it is intended. There is something very primal, even spiritual, about getting into the lo'i. Feeling the kalo with your hands and feet, pulling it from the land and then replanting a new generation. On the island of Oahu, Alika Sing and his family are dedicated to maintaining Hawaiian language and culture through traditional poi making.
Kalo is everything to the Hawaiian people. Kalo has provided food for the Hawaiians for more than 1,600 years. And 1,600 years later, kalo still provides food for my family. After growing the kalo, it is then steamed. Today we use a pressure cooker. It mimics an imu, which is an underground oven. Once it's cooked completely, we'll take it skin and all, we'll put it into cold water. It shocks the skin and the skin falls off. This is what we call poholeaku or pohole ka'ili. At that point, we now ihi or scrape off all the eyes and the leftover rubbish from the first cleaning, and then we put it into some fresh clean water. At this point, now we take off the really soft things. We take just the heart or the firmest portion of the taro, and then it's pounded on a wooden board. You dampen your board, you place the taro there, you damp the bottom of your stone, and you start by just crushing, which we call naha. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna end up having a whole bunch of islets of taro, which is called moku moku. At that point, what we wanna do is we kinda wanna bring that together. And so you're always pounding in the same spot, bringing the taro to you, never pushing and dragging your stone. You always pound. The word is called ku'i, and ku'i means to strike. From there, it's what we call ho'opili, And when it becomes one piece, like a big piece of bubble gum, that's what we call pili. At that point, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and dampen the board one more time, but this time we can put a lot of water on. We return the taro, we dampen the bottom of the stone, and you're gonna do what we call wali wali. So you ho'o wali, boom, and you flip, always pounding the same spot. And as you pound the same spot, you flip the taro back into that spot. And within about a minute or two, your taro, which was kind of dull and lumpy, should be glassy and clear. And that's pretty much the stage of poi or ai. And at that point, you look for any rubbish, you take out the rubbish, what we call hemo opala, and you take that all out, and you can now offer poi. Poi does not necessarily have to have water in it. Poi can be as thick as pa'iai. From there, what we do is we add water to the ai. That's what we call ho'oholo or ho'oholowai. And we add water to it, and we mix the water in with the stone, and we pound the water in until we get the consistency that we want.
We like ours one finger, maybe about a 1-to-1 ratio of water to pa'iai. That's how we like ours.
This is perfect one finger pour right here. Most days you can find Alika, his family, and their great pa'iai at one of Honolulu's many open markets. So drop on by.
The only way I can tell you poi tastes like is it tastes like ono. At the open market, my sons, the wife, and I would put together what we call fried poi, or actually we nicknamed it wow. So you just take a bit of poi and you chop it right into hot coconut oil. You let it crisp up on the outside. If you like it gooey on the inside, even better. You take it out, splash it with a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of honey on top, and when you eat it, it tastes like wow. The first thing people is, wow.
I've discovered the joy of poha, or aged poi.
It's actually fermented. It's 10 days old. You wouldn't even guess.
Oh wow, that's good.
Now, try it with a little bit of chili pepper water.
In its pa'iai stage, you let it age, you let it ferment. A lot of kupuna prefer, actually, because it has all the probiotics, the enzymes, and that tangy taste. And I guess it's analogous to sharp cheddar cheese versus mild cheddar cheese. You know, the fresh poi will have that milder taste, whereas poha will have that sharp edge to it, but still good. Food is a huge part of local culture, and therefore who we are. We eat poi almost every day. If you're not eating your people's food, then who are you?
We have a term called pilina, which means relationship. It's the bringing together. It's what brings you and your partners together, your family together. So what we do is we put a big bowl of poi into the middle of the table. That's where the poi goes. And each one of us will serve our plate separately. Some of us like a lot of fish, some of us like a little bit of steak. And you eat some poi. And you ask, Alela, pehe mai oi? Oh, mai tai wale. And you'd have this conversation, and as you're eating, you go, oh, so ono ka poi ai. So you eat. And as you're eating, you don't realize that you still got chicken in your mouth. And it's just the flavors begin to blow up, just like the stories on the table. Now, the cool thing about ai pilina is you eat a lot of poi. This is what binds us together. Every time we stick that spoon in that bowl, you and I become one. We eat together. A little bit of fish kind of flavors it. Put that there, but we eat the poi. And every time we eat the poi, we all eat together. We all become one as a family. Poi should be in everybody's table. Taste it with an open mind and see why it fed Hawaiians for more than 1,600 years. He ono, an oko'a, aka he ono. It's good, but it's different.